Marcus was walking home from target practice. It was a way for him to clear his mind and escape from the hectic world around him. But today, as he walked home from his usual target practice routine, he couldn't shake the feeling of uneasiness that gnawed at him. As he walked, he couldn't help but question his sanity. He had been experiencing strange and frightening hallucinations lately, and it was starting to take a toll on his mental state. Today, during his target practice, he had even imagined himself going blind and insane. He tried to push the thoughts away, but they lingered, haunting him. By the time Marcus arrived at his clubhouse, it was already nighttime. He knew he needed to relax and get those dark thoughts out of his mind, so he decided to go to bed. As he lay in bed, trying to clear his mind and fall asleep, he suddenly awoke to find himself in a different place. The scenery around him was unfamiliar, yet strangely familiar at the same time. It was as if he was in a real-life house, and not his own clubhouse. Curiosity got the best of him, and Marcus got out of bed and began to explore. As he walked through the house, everything seemed normal. But when he stepped outside, he was stunned to find himself in a whole new world. He was in a neighborhood, surrounded by houses and trees. He looked up at the stormy sky, but as he stepped forward, he tripped over a brick wall and landed next to train tracks. Marcus had never seen train tracks before, but as he looked to his left, he saw something even more unexpected. Trains, not just any trains, but talking trains. Some were chatting amongst themselves, while others were looking around curiously. Marcus couldn't believe his eyes. A green B-12 engine named Barry noticed him and asked where he was from. Marcus stammered, trying to explain that he wasn't from this place and that he had no idea how he got there. A blue tender engine named Bob and a stern-looking engine named Gordon didn't believe him. Marcus was starting to think he was going crazy. But then he noticed a group of engines in a shed nearby. Two of them were talking. One was a friendly-looking engine named Edward, and the other was a blue tank engine named Thomas, who seemed somber and lost in thought, staring up at the sky. As it turns out, all of these engines were part of an alliance against a villain named Old Shape Henry. Thomas had just joined the alliance, but there was a catch. He had asked to join the day before, but Bob had told him to come back tomorrow. It was actually a test, but Thomas had shown up again, determined to prove his worth, and they had ultimately let him in. Marcus was fascinated by these talking trains, and he couldn't resist the offer when Thomas asked if he would like to take a ride around the railway. He hopped into Thomas's cab, and off they went, exploring the intricate railway and meeting all kinds of different engines along the way. But the peace and excitement were short-lived as they arrived at Knapford Station, where Old Shape Henry was resting. As soon as he saw Marcus, he started to aggressively question who he was. Marcus, still dazed and confused about where he was, could only stammer in fear. And then suddenly, Old Shape Henry began to speed towards them. In chaos and panic, Marcus started to run as fast as he could, Thomas trailing close behind him. Thomas tried to distract Henry by speeding towards him on the other track, but Henry was faster. He chased after Marcus, trying to run him over. Marcus could feel Henry getting closer and closer. He ran for his life, but he knew it was only a matter of time before Henry caught up to him. Henry was faster, and before Marcus knew it, the old engine had caught up to him and ran him over. Everything turned black and Marcus was consumed by darkness. Suddenly, Marcus woke up with a start, his heart racing in fear. He was relieved to discover that it was just a dream, but it felt so real. He couldn't shake off the feeling that it was more than just a dream, possibly a warning or a glimpse into an alternate reality. Trembling, Marcus slowly got out of bed and made his way to the window. He could see the railway tracks in the distance, illuminated by the moonlight. Unable to sleep, Marcus went back to bed and spent the night questioning what had happened. He couldn't believe what he had just experienced. Was it just his imagination, or was there something more to it?